Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Breakfast with the Deacons. And today, well, it's not really the deacons, but I have a deacon and a half deacon here with me this morning, right? The son of a deacon. So, I mean, this is actually the first time that I have one of the children of a deacon with me, and that's really important. You know what I mean? Because we're gonna jam him this morning to find out what it is like being the son of a deacon. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's wonderful to have you viewers this morning, and it's kind of real rainy, chilly morning. You know, this morning I was coming down the road, and I just had to make sure that I was driving cautiously, coming through the water. You know, all the roads were very slippery, and, you know, I just had to pray my angel of God prayer this morning so that I would be here safely, so that we can start the #1 breakfast show in the morning on the #1 television station in the whole of the Caribbean, Trinity TV at Breakfast with the Deacons. Welcome to Breakfast with the Deacons. And this morning, I have Darian Narain with me, son of my favorite, Sheldon Narain and Cindy Narain. Welcome, welcome, Darian.
Thanks a lot, Uncle D. Well, morning to all the Trinity viewers out there as well.
Hey, and listen, do you know that this show is all over the world?
All over.
All over the world. Australia.
Australia.
They text us. You know what I mean? Hold on. The Philippines, Indonesia, Jamaica, man. Everybody is on this show. All of the islands, wherever Flow is, people can see the show, as well as anybody who signs on to the internet. So we have people all over. They'll text us, they'll call us, and they'll let us know.
Oh, that's
so
beautiful.
A lot of people are seeing this handsome face. Look at this handsome face. But you know, every time we start Breakfast with Deacons, we must talk about Papa Francis. And what is Papa Francis saying to us this morning? And Papa Francis says this morning, the newness which God brings into our life is something that actually brings fulfillment, that gives true joy, true serenity, because God loves us and desires only our good. Whatever God brings into our life is something that actually brings fulfillment, that gives true joy, true serenity, because God loves us and desires only our good. And I will kick off our show this morning with Darian, because Darian is, you know, he's brought so many things in Darian's life. First of all, he brought him some parents, like Shelly, you know what I mean? The crazy Catholic, and believe me, I am not crazy. Shelly is crazy, right? And Cindy, thank God for Cindy. I mean, she must stabilize him. I mean, what is life living with Uncle Sheldon, with Daddy and Mommy?
Well, it's quite interesting, huh? You know. You have a deacon who's also a comedian there, and you're under his roof. So 1 minute is we're laughing, next minute we're praying, we're religious, you know. You have mom there, and mom is always supporting and always helping out and stuff. We're always on the go, because I'm as well involved in church and stuff as well, with many events, and especially up at Maracas RC.
Right.
So all of that inside there has us busy bees, you know. But it's quite interesting. I mean, I love it. You couldn't ask for anything better.
Serious? How many children do Daddy and Mommy have?
Well, it's just two of us. It's myself and my sister. Yeah.
Sheldon, you and Cindy, you're supposed to be good Catholics. I thought you would tell me they have about 6 children. Hey, you have to catch up with me, you know, partner. How old are you?
I think I count for about 4.
You count for about 4?
So,
all right, okay. I hear what. We excuse them.
I'm 20.
You're 20 years old. Fantastic. What are you doing?
I'm currently pursuing a degree in psychology with a minor in theater.
Right. So, and where are you doing this?
Over at the University of the West Indies.
Oh my
St.
goodness. So you're up there with Sophie then?
Yes, yeah.
That's my daughter. She's up there also. Crazy people. Oh Lord.
Bouncing up Sophie all the time.
Bouncing up Sophie all the time. Well, wonderful. And you're also involved in the arts too?
Yes, I have my own production company.
Yeah? What's the name of that
It's
company?
called Sindan Productions.
Sindan Productions.
Sindan Productions. We registered everything.
Wow.
So we recently just did a production with Stefan Roach.
I was there.
Yeah.
I saw it. It was awesome. Actually, we had Stefan on. And you know, you hear we bigging up young people, eh?
Yes.
Stefan was on, the flamenco guitarist, you know, and he was telling us about these 3 young people. Well, this is the other one of the young people.
But Stefan is a brilliant guitarist, brilliant. And it was a lovely showcase, you know, showcase all the talent out of the Living Waters community.
Right.
Because all of us, we got our foundation inside here, and it was a lovely production, you know.
Yeah. We had fun.
Yeah, we had a lot
of fun. We laughed our belly full. You know what I mean? But it was your first venture on your own.
Yes, in terms of production.
Right.
Other than that, I normally do workshops every year.
Okay.
So I did one down south this year, which was lovely. We got some really interesting talent coming out of the southern lands. And you know, it's a lot of talented people down there,
Right,
especially.
right.
You have young people who are singers, dancers, actors, and what we basically do is bring professionals in the field in and have them, you know, give them their expertise, so share their expertise with all these youngsters.
Right. And what do you find the response has been like?
Well, it's been interesting. I mean, when we did it last year at Queen's Hall up here, we had just close to 100 people.
That's good.
Yeah. When we went down south, we had a nice little sized crowd as well, and you know, they were very receptive to it because it's something unique. It's something that they don't really have around. Currently, a lot of the young people, a lot of people looking to get into the arts, but it has very few avenues in terms of training, and
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Very few avenues in terms of training.
in terms of training or and
Hey,
expertise.
hold on. Let me share some government. If you're allowed, wait, I know members of the government watch on to the Breakfast with the Deacons. If the ministers are not looking on, their wives are looking on. You hear? This is an area that would capture the imagination of young people into the arts. And what we're hearing is that they're not much in terms of tutoring and mentoring and so on in the arts for young people to stimulate them, to let them know, hey, there's another avenue outside there to use a gift that God has given to us.
And you know, it's a very lovely avenue in terms that it helps develop one's character as well, and you know, emotional control, things like that, stress relief. I mean, when you hit a stage, it's just you against the world, and it's a beautiful thing, you know. Especially when you're on stage doing religious stuff as well, because I mean, sometimes I'm up on stage, for example, with the Generation S.
You see it? Uncle Matthew, Father Matthew, hey, Father Steve, I'm promoting Generation S. Nice.
I was the MC for the event just went by, and you know,
How did that come off?
we had about 1,200 young people. So I mean, that was phenomenal.
1,200 young people came out to Generation
Generation
S.
S.
Hey, listen, and people talk about our young people, and they're saying they're doing all of these kind of crazy, mad things. But what about those who are doing wonderful things for God? I mean, that's 1,200 young people coming outside there, not shooting up the tongue, not robbing people, not snatching their chains. They're saying, hey, come, let's have a wonderful evening, a lime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Showing the enthusiasm for, hey, God's call to them.
Not only that, but what we had there as well is an avenue for them to showcase their talent. So we had talent competitions and stuff.
Good.
With all the different vicariates. So all of them partook, and we had all the different churches come together, and
Right.
it was quite interesting to see young people planning together and, you know, trying to work out, hey, what we're going to do, how we're going to do this, trying to put all the talents to mold it together.
Right.
And it was absolutely beautiful when you actually saw it come up on stage. I mean, we had some excellent deliveries. You saw some of the talent that's just beaming within the church, and you know, I think that's something that we need to look into, you know, to invest time into these individuals so that now they could come out, they could bring their talent and promote our Catholic faith.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
I mean, okay, you're a son of a deacon. You mentioned earlier on that sometimes you come and there your daddy is, you know, you're acting, you're doing all kind of crazy things, and then next minute you're praying.
You're praying, yeah.
You know, but as a young man, I know sometimes that challenges young people to rebel. It challenges young people to go sometimes in the opposite direction. How did you handle it, you know, with this religious thing? You know, and your partners, they want to go on Lime, you know, and you are there saying, hey, what should I do? You know, what goes through your minds as young people? Because I could tell you about when I was a young person, but I was a young person a long, long time ago. I want to know what happens to a young person now with that challenge of trying to balance. I want to be normal, and when I say normal, I'm talking about like the rest of the world. I ain't talking normal because we find this normal. And daddy calling you to pray. We had to go to church on Sunday.
Yeah.
You know, what is that challenge for young people? How do you feel about that?
Well, growing up within the faith, you know, I was always exposed to the Bible, always exposed to religious aspects, and I got involved with church events and stuff from an early age, you know. So I've befriended a lot of priests, especially, and the thing is that once you secure your faith, it becomes less and less difficult. I mean, in my early teens, you know, 14, that's when you all were ordained. I think that was about 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah, it was really, really difficult, you know, because people would watch you, this is son of a deacon, you know, you have this certain expectation, this certain way that everybody views you, and they expect so much, and they expect this way. And honestly, you know, the pressures were initially building then, but after some time, you pray about it, you know, you reflect on it, and you realize, hey, this is for a greater good, this is for a greater cause. And the thing is to try and find your confidence as well within there, and yourself, rather than being dependent solely on your parents, but trying to find your independence.
Right.
And that's basically how I went about it, you know. I found my independence. Even within the church, I started doing various activities, like emceeing certain events, or would volunteer for certain things. And I guess that's how I solidified my faith, you know, and was able to cope with that situation.
All right. Do you have friends that would try to pull you away and say, hey, Darian, what you doing, man? Come online with us. And say, no, boy, I have a church event to go and do. Do you have those kind of challenges? Or is your line part of your social circles in terms of church and so on? How do you balance that?
Well, it's definitely a pull and tug, you know.
Yeah.
But in terms of church events, what I normally do is that I'll have my calendar marked off and stuff. So I know exactly, okay, this is what's coming up. This is what I have to do. This is my priorities here. Bam, bam, bam. Like I haven't missed church on a Sunday or Saturday afternoon, probably in over 7 years or so.
Wow,
yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, so it's
Hey,
been
you them young people, they're smoking. You know, I remember my daughter telling me too, and I mean, I remember her. Up to age 24, she never missed mass, not one day. You know, I remember Gabrielle studying in New York, and it would be snowing, and she would be call me on the phone and say, Daddy, I'm going to church now. And I say, but Gabby, you know what I mean? I saw the weather.
Yeah.
I saw it was snowing, and you'll have a blizzard. He said, no, it's Daddy, but I'm going to church. And I mean, that's amazing, you know, having these young people grow up in, I want to say this, and I think that this is important, and because what I'm hearing from you is the same thing, that when we teach our children, when they grow up in a family that has, from very young, they have been exposed to praying together, eating together, liming together. Everybody jump in the car, we go in maracas. But you know, we coming back home on time to go to church. And that's a given. There's no, you know what I mean? There's no compromise on that saying, but we're going to lime, and we lime late, and therefore we're not going to church. It was like, you know, wife and husband, here what going on, fellas? 3 o'clock, pack up, we're going to 6:30 mass, so everybody get in the car now. You know, and there's no sort of, we go in, and everybody's going together.
Sometimes, you know, in terms of like you was mentioning liming and stuff, you know. So sometimes I would go out, I'd take my little lime, and then, I mean, I'm still young. I'd go on the avenue.
Young baby.
So, you know, and reach home 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
I reach home 4 o'clock. Mass is 7.
Yeah.
I'm there.
You're there.
I'm there. Go into mass, making an effort. You know, take my 3 hours sleep, wake up, go to mass, come back home, sleep.
Pressure. I do that.
Yes.
Sophie, that's like dragging her out of bed, because Sophie is not a morning person. Hi, Sophie, I know you're looking on. She's, Daddy, I'm not a morning person. Can I please go in the afternoon? Because if she went out and limed till 4 o'clock in the morning, and that's real, the only thing is you drive, right?
I drive, yeah.
Sophie gets me out of bed at 4 o'clock in the morning and says, Daddy, please come and pick me up. I say, Sophie, you ought to be crazy. I have to go to mass in the morning for 7. And I am the one that catching my royal tail. But if you want to keep families together, if you want to make sure that they're safe, if you want to make sure that they have the values, then we too have to we have a sacrifice as parents to basically we have a sacrifice that we have to play. If it means that you have to go and pick up your kids at 4 o'clock in the morning and still get ready for mass for 7, parents, do it. It's worth it.
Go through strong.
Go through strong. But let's get back to you. Hold on a minute. Some little birdie told me you were in this spoken word competition. And you won the spoken word competition?
Yeah.
And this is a national competition, or this is just something that a school had?
It's a national competition.
And what's it all about?
So it was held by NDTT. I recently got into the spoken word. You know, I used to write poetry and stuff. I studied a little bit of literature. So I decided, you know what, time to branch out a little bit, time to investigate new avenues. And I got into the spoken word, and I wrote a piece and I submitted it. And I won the People's Choice for that event. The competition itself is still to be held the 28th of this month. So that's the finals. And yeah, once I'm still going through strong with my faith, everything, you know. It was basically to combat drugs. So that was the whole idea, the negative aspects of drugs. Yeah. So I wrote a piece about that.
You remember the piece?
I remember a piece of the piece.
A piece. You want to give the viewing audience. I'll stick in you here. I don't care. And this is what Uncle Derek does. He sticks them. I want you to give them a little piece of that spoken word. You ready for it?
I think so.
Action. Camera. You're on that camera over. You're on this camera over
there. Right
Hit
there.
it. Go.
Night dwelling, eye swelling, mouth watering. One shot, one needle injected to that same old swollen spot. Trying to find a hero in heroin, living in sin, straying from the good kind of kin. Or let me talk about the daytime, huffing, puffing, and sniffing. The weary white powder have you balancing, dancing, singing, and whistling with the pavement. But you can't lament. This is your life, your strife.
Boss, give me a bounce here. Beautiful. Hey, only listening to the young people. This is the potential that they have if we allow them to use their incredible gift of creativity. Here we have a young man writing his little poetry, goes and he enters into a spoken word competition, wins People's Choice, and you're in the finals.
Yes, in the finals.
In the finals. Hey, listen, this thing, you have to text in and what is it?
No.
Is it just pure judges?
It's pure judges.
Right. Because you know if it was texting in, I'm telling everybody on Trinity TV, hey, we had to big up our boy, text in. But judges are doing it.
But judges are doing it. Warren Mandel is supposed to be one of the judges.
All right, okay.
Yeah, and then Nikki Crosby as well.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to it. They haven't confirmed their venue as yet, but they're looking at the promenade more than likely.
To have it on the promenade. Oh, that's awesome. Open. Yeah. Good, and you know Nikki is the girl on the promenade. And Nikki, I watch your show all the time, and I know you're a good Catholic. You're a Providence girl. She's a Providence girl, you know. And a couple of my girls went to Providence. Beautiful Catholic school. Talent too bad.
For sure.
So imagine that Sophie was in drama too. Yeah, Sophie's a crazy lady, but she prefers to go behind the camera rather than in front of the camera.
But Sophie's excellent at film, man.
Yeah, Sophie,
she's moving in the right direction.
She's trying something, That's what she's doing. Again, allowing them to use God's gift and say, go. Use God's gift for the building up of his kingdom. Now, let's talk about your production company.
All right.
Why did you start it? What was it all about? Okay, Daddy and Mommy have their own production company.
Yes, DC Shell Theatre and Crazy Catholic Productions.
Crazy Catholic Productions. Listen, if you want to go and see beautiful, funny, entertaining, anything to do with having a wonderful night out, and you could grab from your baby to your grandmother, and they could go and enjoy something, and you don't have to worry about if they have any cussing, if they have any, craziness going on. You can take them to the Crazy Catholics and DC Shell Productions.
Yes.
It is absolutely awesome. I mean, I go to it all the time, and I laugh my belly full. And you know what they say? Laughter is the best medicine. Trust me on that. So Francis said so too, Good. Yeah, but tell me about Sydenham Productions.
All right.
Sydenham Productions.
So Sydenham Productions was a branch off from DC Shell Theatre. Okay. We started going to a little bit, focusing into certain areas a little bit more. One was the workshops, so the training and stuff, because a lot of people were calling up, they were asking, hey, listen, we want to get involved with this, we want to do this, but they didn't have the formal training or any kind of previous experience, and it's good to give people with raw talent a chance to showcase that talent and to develop it, right? So that was the whole idea behind Sydenham Productions. On top of that, for smaller events, say we have like parties, birthday parties, weddings, anything like that.
You do things like that?
Yeah, this is what the Sydenham Productions was for.
Right.
So to focus more into those things as well.
So if I asked you, well, okay, for a party, what would you do in a party? What would your company do in a party?
Okay, so it depends on what you want. First of all, we'll get the theme, right, and of course the gender of the child,
Right.
to determine what story or whatever they want, and we do like little 15-minute skits.
Right.
We could do that. We could do party games, like
Right.
full-fledged party games. You know, we dress in the
Right.
costumes and everything,
Right,
and we carry
right.
them through. So we'll basically run your whole party for you.
Fantastic.
So we have games to keep them occupied for that 2-3
Yeah,
hours, as the case
right.
may be.
And what's the response like? Are you getting, is it growing in popularity and so on?
It is. I mean, we stopped it for a while, and we only now recently started back doing it. So,
okay.
you know, it's,
Because after that massive production that you all had,
Yes.
you know, I mean, and
Time.
all of you people are just are young people. I know this is all of you are you're around your age, 20, 21, 22, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's
Except
amazing.
one guy, we had one guy on the production team there who was the guy who played the father.
Yeah.
He's 50.
Well, you
But-
had to have a 50-year-old father if you have 20-year-old children. So he was the only one that got into the production.
Yeah, who was a little bit, you know, over the
It was
young people age group.
Right. It was his daughter he was looking for all over the world.
Yes, all over the world.
Amazing show. Listen, man, they travel all over he traveled all over the world looking for this special young lady that he met in Trinidad, right?
Yeah,
And it was, where you went to? Tibet, you went to, what are some of the places you went to? It was crazy.
Spain, Colombia,
Yeah.
you know, all the Spanish countries.
Right.
So we moved from Colombia to Spain to Venezuela, all over South America, Brazil. Yeah. So it's lovely.
And listen, they didn't talk any Spanish. It's Spanglish, some kind of crazy language that they had. But it was really nice fun.
Trinidadians touching on in all these Spanish countries, you know, Spanish-speaking countries. Well, Brazil is Portuguese.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're touching on in all these Latin American nations and the Spanish-speaking countries. And as Trinis, you know, we know everything.
Yeah.
But we reach into people's culture and we want to bring our own culture inside there, you know. So it was a combination of both cultures. Yeah.
And I mean, it was a sellout. I was there. I mean, you couldn't get a seat. Were you all anxious at all, the three of you young people, coming out with your very first production? I mean, it must have been challenging. It must have been daunting at times. Saying, well, boy, will we get enough people to come to this thing? You know, will it be successful? How would the audience, you know, respond to what we are trying to do? And this is a special niche that you all were trying to bring, because there you had, you know, some classical guitar. It was like a musical.
It was.
It was a musical with dance, drama, comedy. It had everything in it.
Yes, yeah. The thing is that, you know, one of the first things to do, I remember being in rehearsal, Stefan would watch me and, you know, he would say, boy, you know, we have to get this going, we have to promote this. And I would say, Stefan, you know what, we need to have a little faith. You know, we had the Rhythmica dance team with us, which was headed by Ruth Degans. She did an excellent and a phenomenal job. You saw those dances, right? Those dance numbers and stuff. So one of the things we would do is, for every rehearsal, I would say, hey, listen, I can't rehearse unless we start with a prayer.
Amen.
You know, so we'd start with a prayer, make sure and end with a prayer. Even when we had the showcase itself, you know, we said a prayer before we started the show at Queen's Hall and stuff. It's just to give thanks to God, you know, for our talents and to be able to even pull off this production. You know, so young, because all of us were pretty young people.
Young
you know?
people, yeah.
And to get that support, we had it back in the Living Waters community. I mean, that was amazing.
Big up Living Water.
Living
and
Waters.
breakfast with the Deacons, we pushed the show.
Yes, yeah. Breakfast. Uncle D pushed the show on Breakfast with the Deacons. We helped out Just Because Foundation and stuff. And
that was amazing.
That was
because
amazing.
You gave, your young people also gave towards two charities. One was the Living Water Community. The other one was Just Because Foundation, which is tremendous what the Joseph family is doing. You know, offering, you know, their home, offering a place where families who are going through that struggle of having a child with cancer, you know, that they can come. So Joseph's wonderful, wonderful work that you're doing. And you all contributed to that.
Yes. You know, it's always good to give back, especially when you get and you receive success. It's always good to give back in some way. You know?
Have you all thought of another production? Are you all in any planning stages for a part 2 or anything like that? Are you thinking about it?
Well, you know, I pitched the idea to Stefan already because I have the concept and the stuff
Right.
already.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just for him to give the okay and
Right.
say, hey, listen, you know, we're going ahead with this.
Yeah.
But we're looking at a little Western idea.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Classical guitar with Western inside.
No,
it.
I love that. I mean, you know, that's like listen, a Clint Eastwood kind of thing in the background there, you know what I mean? You know, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic. No, that's wonderful. Listen, you all didn't hear it, eh? Breakfast with Deacons. Remember, a little Western is coming up with this production company. It should be fantastic. Listen out for it. You're going to hear it on Breakfast with Deacons. Young people, we've got to support them. We've got to support the incredible things that they're doing. But let's get back to Daddy and Mommy. You and your sister. By the way, what's your sister's name?
Chelsea.
Does Chelsea get involved in DC Shells too?
Of course. So
How old is Chelsea?
Chelsea is 16.
Right, okay.
Right? And she's, very much involved. You know, she acts and stuff. And on top of that, she's big into dance.
Really?
So dance is her big thing, you know,
yeah.
her passion.
Yeah.
So she would be, you know, coming up with some choreography for the different plays.
Right.
So she'll do 1 or 2 pieces for them and plan it out and, you know, teaching
In
them stuff.
DC Shells?
In DC Shell for the
She
play
will
itself.
do some of the dancing and
Yeah,
so
the choreography and stuff, yeah.
She'll do the choreography is what you're telling me, you know?
Yeah.
These young people, 14, you hear what he said? 14?
16.
16,
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, how long is she involved with Daddy and Mommy and this whole thing?
Probably about since she was 4. Yeah.
4 years old?
4 years old.
So what time you started with Daddy and Mommy?
I started when I was about 6.
About 6?
Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, you know, all part of Daddy and Mommy and crazy Catholic, you're real crazy, you know. But that's lovely. And being part of that, you all grew up in it, and you all don't get stress. Oh my God, Daddy, Mommy, I just don't feel like doing this thing or anything like that.
Well, obviously, you know, you'll have the stresses.
Yeah,
You'll have the stress coming, you know, stressors out there that'll come in and it'll affect you. But the thing is that you have to stay strong.
Yeah.
And as much as possible, I really love doing this.
Yeah.
It's a passion for the arts, a passion for the culture. So, I mean, to go out there, you know, sometimes you put in the hours for rehearsals because we have rehearsals on weekends. Is from anywhere from, you know, sometimes 6 to 8 hours on a weekend and stuff. You put in here per day, so Saturday and Sunday and Fridays as well. So sometimes I have to give up the whole weekend and, you know.
Hold on. You all right? You feeling good? No, you know why I'm doing that? Because here you have a young man. You finished Form 6. You're now at University of the West Indies studying psychology with
a minor in theatre.
a minor in theatre. And they have to rehearse on weekends. Daddy and Mommy have a production. And still, they were able to do and to complete their education, to continue to progress in their education. And sometimes we figure, well, no, sometimes we say, I listen to some crazy people. And they have to be crazy. I don't think we are the crazy Catholics, you know. They are the crazy Catholics outside there. Here you have a family. And my family goes for that and many other families. Our children have to go to school and study hard. But they also have to enjoy life, be part of family. And guess what? You know, you all guys balance it. Once Daddy and Mommy teach you all that balance, you can have a full life with Almighty God and enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the things that a lot of young people do is limit themselves.
Yeah.
You know, they like to set limits or set boundaries and say, hey, you know, I can't go beyond this, I can't do that. But I can't is not of God, you know, it's I can.
And I can't is not of young people. They're always, they can. That's why Jesus chose young people. You've been watching Breakfast with Deacons. We're gone for this weekend. See you all on Tuesday. Remember that Women's Conference, JFK Auditorium. We want to see you there. Come on, buy your tickets. Breakfast with Deacons. Boom!
All right.